Welcome back to the Real Estate Don Tread podcast. It's your host, Don Davis of Douglas Elliman Real Estate here on this nice afternoon. I have a special guest in the studio today from Cornerstone Mortgage, none other than Rod C. What I like most about Rod is very experienced, has a degree in finance from SMU, and also is a senior vice president of Cornerstone Mortgage, which is one of the top lenders, and not only work with consumers directly, but y'all work with home builders as well.
Absolutely.
Go ahead and introduce yourself, Rod. Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Well, man, I appreciate you inviting me out, Don. Thank
Yes,
you
sir.
for
Yes,
letting
sir.
me come out and talk to you. But yeah, my name is Rod C. Man, I've been in the business for a little bit now,
Yeah.
a couple of decades. It don't seem like
Couple decades.
but I really enjoy what I do. Being in the real estate game, I've seen a lot of ups and downs,
Correct.
and high interest rates, low interest rates, a lot of trends here and there. But I really enjoy helping people get into homes. I enjoy seeing builders that are small builders and going out there and make some money in this business. One thing I recognize is that it's millions of people out there in this world,
Correct.
and they got to live somewhere.
There's a housing shortage.
Exactly. And so I love to put people in a position where not only are they achieving what we call American dream, but they creating a legacy for their future family members and their kids and their grandkids. So it's, to me, it's legacy building too as well.
And legacy building is very important. You and I talked a little bit earlier. As you know, I'm originally from San Antonio. I've worked in Houston for 10 years, and now I've been here in Dallas for 2 years.
You're getting all over the state of Texas. Look at you.
Because I looked at the bottom. I took the test. It says Texas real estate license, Texas
Exactly,
real estate
right,
broker. So I
right.
said, let me leave no
You're
stone.
going to be in El Paso here in a minute.
Hey, if the growth, if they put a Buc-ee's out there, I might be out there in El Paso.
Okay, all right.
But yeah, I wanted to talk about that though, Ross. So you actually have lived in both major cities as well. You've lived in Houston and Dallas as well, and you've actually been able to help people in both markets. So give us a little intro, a bio, based on where you grew up, how you transitioned into this business, and what made you choose the mortgage business.
So give you a little backstory. Grew up in Houston, Texas. Lived there all the way through high school. Really enjoyed. What's going on, North Shore Mustangs?
Oh man, they look at that. Everybody go hit pause. I'm a Katie.
Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. The Mustangs be doing
The
it.
North Shore Mustangs. Go ahead.
But when I graduated, went to a lot of different schools. Went to and checked out. Went to Texas A&M. Went down to University of Houston. Went and checked out a lot of different schools. But when I got to University of Oklahoma, that's where I ended up going to school. I just recognized it was a big school name, but it was more of a kind of a smaller school environment, right? It's not as big as some of these other schools in Texas.
Now, y'all
The
in the audience.
UTs and A&M,
Hey,
right?
y'all in the audience, did you even hear how he said University of Oklahoma? like that's a special campus.
It is. It is. When I was down there, I recognized a couple things. I went down there for engineering.
Okay.
So I went down to get an engineering degree. But one thing that really struck to me is I always liked working with people.
Yes.
Like I was part of a fraternity. I was in all the organizations and all the different stuff around campus, Black Student Union, all that, right?
What fraternity, by the way?
It's only one, right?
You said a fraternity. I thought there was several.
No, it's only one.
Okay, what?
Omega Psi Phi.
Omega Psi Phi.
Yes.
Okay,
I'm an Omega man, and sometimes I'm a Q dog.
Hey,
regardless.
Hey, depend on the weather, huh?
Depending on what time of the day it is, right?
Exactly. So shout out to all my Omega friends. Like I just helped Omega relocate from Katy to Colleyville.
Oh, okay.
And
okay.
so I know a few of y'all brothers, and y'all been nothing but good to me. So
There
I
you
gotta
go, good.
I gotta be an affiliate on
There
the
you
side.
go. There you go. Ain't nothing wrong with it. You come kick it with us.
Yeah. I got to. Matter of fact, I'm actually going to hang out with the Florida Omegas.
Okay.
October 18th, Florida homecoming. I'll be there. Florida University.
Florida University. Okay. Okay.
Yes,
cool.
sir.
Yeah,
Yes, sir. I'll be
bruhs
there.
everywhere. But so after graduating from OU, I realized engineering is not what I wanted to do. I didn't want to be stuck in some lab somewhere or at some plant and
Correct.
not really have that contact with people. So I came back to Dallas and I went to Southern Methodist University, right?
Okay.
When I got here, the first thing that interests me was the real estate department.
Gotcha.
So even having an engineering degree, I knew I could do the math. Like that was something that was easy for me.
Yes.
But I wanted to be in a position where maybe I can go out here and I can help build things. I still wanted to build things. So got involved with the real estate department there, got a master's in real estate finance.
That's good to know. You might not have known. I have an intern right now from that same department named Adele Harris.
Okay, cool.
From the Black Student Union
Yeah.
Real Estate Department.
At SMU?
Yes, correct.
Man, tell me, give me a call. I
Yes.
walk them through some of the things that I had to deal with. But
it's a she.
Okay.
Yeah, it's a she, but she's doing a great job.
So that was between 94 and 96 when I was at SMU. Mm-hmm. So 96 market was kind of it was okay. It wasn't that great in real estate. I decided to follow the money instead of following my heart. I actually got a job in corporate finance.
Okay.
Working for Fortune 500 companies for the next 6 years.
Wow.
But I always had that in me. I want to still get involved in real estate. I still want to get involved in real estate. Another piece that we hadn't talked about is I was watching my dad at that point. And my dad was one of those people, he didn't really say. You know, you got people that they say you got people that doers, talkers,
yes,
and people that standing there and watching, right?
Correct.
He wasn't a talker, he wasn't a watcher, he was a doer, right?
Yes.
And so I'm watching him and just watching how he moving, and he owned a lot of property between Dallas, Fort Worth, Arlington. He owned a lot of property, and so I was like, well, man, maybe that's the key. So after 6 years in corporate finance, I said, you know what, I'm gonna get involved in real estate. My first entree into it, though, I said, I'm going to be an investor.
Okay. And I did that, too, by the way. I watched an infomercial late one night.
Exactly.
Carlton Sheets.
Something like that, right? Yeah. And the way I got in, I had an individual call me up and say, hey, there's this Indian guy in Pleasant Grove. Mm-hmm. He's selling all his properties. I said, okay, number one, what does all his properties mean? And number two, I didn't really know much about Pleasant Grove at all at that time.
I wasn't even here, and I knew about it.
I knew about
the chicken and everything.
Yeah, I didn't know about Pleasant Grove. I didn't know nothing about.
Yeah.
And so one late night, we drove, me, my partner, and the agent at that time. Right.
Yes.
He said, "Man, we're gonna go out here to Pleasant Grove, and we're gonna see about these properties." Got out there, all duplexes. Now it's probably 9, 10 o'clock at night. You can't hardly see nothing.
Yes.
But he said, hey, he's selling all these properties. And I said, what does all
occupied
mean?
or unoccupied?
Some of them, both.
Okay.
Some of them unoccupied, some of them occupied.
Okay.
And I said, he kept saying all his property. How many? Come to find out, this guy had over 300 properties.
Wow.
Like we talking about buying the block.
He bought
the neighborhood.
All the way to Ball Springs.
He bought the neighborhood. So the whole neighborhood of these duplexes, he owned this neighborhood.
Wow.
And I said, well, why is he selling? Like, if this is a good deal, Mom always kind of critical. Why is he selling?
Correct.
So he moving back to India.
Okay.
He's just trying to get his money out. Owned all the properties free and clear. Nice. I said, so is this what we're gonna do? Of course, I'm not looking to buy 300.
Correct.
I said, look, what I'll do is I'll buy 10 of them.
Okay.
Just to see, right? Mm-hmm. And back then, lending was so easy.
It was.
I walked in the door. They had the papers on the table.
Yes.
For 10. I said, well, hold up. What about credit? What about down payment? What about all this?
Now you assuming.
They say, I ain't need none of that.
Yeah. Now
I said, you good.
Yeah, you assuming the existing loans. Yes.
I said, so we bought 10. Then about 6 months later, we bought another 10.
Go ahead.
About another year later, we bought another 10.
Wow.
When everything was said and done between Dallas, Pleasant Grove, and then we ended up buying some stuff in Fort Worth, we owned about 50 doors.
Wow.
You say, wow. That was the worst decision I ever made. Well, I'm going to say it like this.
You weren't ready for the management side yet.
Not at all.
Okay.
Matter of fact, the good thing about it, I realized at that point what I wanted to do in the real estate business.
Okay.
I didn't want to be no landlord.
Yes.
I didn't want to be no flipper.
Correct. Me neither.
I didn't want to do none of that stuff, right?
Yes.
And I also realized I didn't want to be no realtor.
Correct. You're right.
Praise to you and what you do.
And I
don't want to do that.
By the way, I got my loan officer license. But I decided I didn't want to do that. And don't get me wrong, I respect you as you are here today.
Right.
I respect a great lender. There is no Don Davis without a great lender.
Right.
But at the same time, I also had to realize, hey, I can't be the jack of all trades and master of none. I need to go with what I know.
Right. And in your personality, I can easily see you being an agent, right? You can be a realtor. So So one time I was sitting down and we was closing, and the guy that I was using for my mortgages at the time, back then, they would actually put the way they put how much money, your commission,
yes, on
the CD.
Correct.
Well, back then it was a HUD.
Yeah, on the HUD.
So they put the mortgage lender's commission on the HUD back then. They
Correct.
don't do that no more, but they did it back then.
Uh-huh.
And so I looked at one of my papers and I said, well, wait a minute. I just bought this house for like $40,000. You just made $8,000.
Correct. And you got to wait on your 8.
Exactly. I said, you just made $8,000.
Correct.
And I'm talking to the lender. You just made $8,000.
Yes.
And I'm started adding them up. Well, we done 50 of these, and you done made 8, 7, 6. I said, I don't want to do this. I want to do what you do. That's what I told the lender.
And he didn't get any phone calls about the toilets being broken.
Nothing.
Nothing. He didn't get
none of that.
Any maintenance requests.
And back then, I didn't need a license.
No, you didn't.
So 2003, 4, 5, we didn't need no license. He said, well, man, if you want to do it, just come to my office.
Oh, wow.
And so the next day, or one of the days, I went over to his office. He was over there off of the tollway in Addison. And I sat down with him and I said, so show me how to do what you do. He said, man, here's a list of paperwork. Just go get the paperwork from the people. I said, so bank statements, pay stuff, just a list of paperwork.
The docs.
We might use it, we might not.
Yeah, it might be a no-doc loan. It
Exactly.
might be it depends.
He said, but go get the paperwork, and if they want to buy a house, you go buy a house from them, right?
Yeah.
And so I was at a point where like, okay, well, it's easy. Yeah. And so I was in a position where I was like, well, let me try this. Let me try this, right? And I got into it and I loved it. Like I loved what I was doing, right? I loved it. And so from that point forward, we decided to start selling our investment properties, and we got into the mortgage business, right?
Gotcha.
Ever since then, I wake up every single day enthused about what I do. See, it's one thing to have a job.
Yes, correct.
It's one thing to work for somebody or even work for yourself. And let's say you don't really even enjoy what you do.
It's horrible.
But when you find your purpose,
correct,
the thing that you really believe God put you on the planet to do, and at the same time you helping people.
Yeah, that's a perfect segue. So because you and I both are operating in our purpose, and we kind of experienced that. We both just got back from Los Angeles.
Right.
When did you discover National Real Estate Brokers, NAREB, and how did you know right away that organization aligned with your purpose?
Because my first few years in the mortgage business, I was surrounded a lot around people who didn't look like me.
Correct.
And a lot of people who came to me looking for an opportunity to buy a house was people that looked like me.
Yes.
And they had went to other places and got told no.
Exactly.
Repeatedly told no. And so a lot of people that came to me was discouraged, downtrodden, thinking I'm going to be a renter all my life. Nobody in my family has ever owned a house, and I'm going to not ever own a house either, right? And so I just knew, I said, this can't be how it is. I just knew it can't be how it is, right? And so when somebody invited me to a NAREB meeting a long time ago in Fort Worth. I remember it was at a country club or somewhere. And when we went over there, the first thing that they said, they used the word democracy and housing. I was like, okay, what does that mean? And basically it's saying giving everybody a fair shake.
Exactly.
Like everybody deserve a fair shake.
Correct.
Now if you haven't done the things you need to do, that's on you. But at the end of the day, somebody can tell you what to do, put it together, and then come back and see me when you got everything together. But I'm gonna give you a game plan on what you need to do.
With a timeline on what we can do to get you where you need to go.
So NAREB and what Ross C was doing was the exact same thing.
Exactly.
So when I showed up, I said, here's a whole organization that's doing what I do.
Exactly.
Because I was always taught when I first started, you sort through people. What does that mean?
Cherry pick.
Exactly.
Look for the easy ones.
Exactly.
And then
I get 10 people.
Yes.
2 of them qualify, 8 of them, hey, I'm working on these 2. Y'all go somewhere else.
Exactly.
But now I get 10 people. Every single person, even if the 8 not ready, they're going to have a game plan from me on how to get ready.
And that's so important. I mean, I think, and I was saying this on another previous podcast, it's always good to have somebody who can relate to where we've been
Right.
to help us on the other side. Because a lot of times people are telling you no, and you need at least tell me why.
Exactly.
At least tell me why.
But
And
no-
that's
but-
actually
but-
how I got my loan officer license. So the reason I got my loan officer license initially, when I first got into business, I was killing what they say, killing going out hunting and dragging
dragging it back in and eating,
and everybody's saying no, they're not approved. So I needed to know what questions to ask to qualify the people before I brought them to the lender.
Right.
So now that I'm seasoned enough to qualify the people before I bring them to you, not only does it help me screen who I bring to you, but it also helps me prepare them for you.
But I'm gonna challenge you on something. Don't screen nobody. I've never met in 22 years. I have never met a person that I would tell them absolutely never in the history of the world you'll be able to get a house.
Correct.
Never.
You can't say that.
So there's people that come to me.
Yeah.
And they got a long list of things they got to do. But some people are so motivated.
Yes.
They so tired of being in an apartment. They tired of always renting and moving. They tired of their kids not having a secure life in a secure neighborhood. That whatever I tell them to do, they're going to figure out how to get done. Now, it might take them 3 months, 6 months, a year.
Yep.
But I done had people call me back, Mr. C, man, I know we talked about 2 years ago.
Yes.
2 years ago, I'm ready. And I pull that stuff up, boom. They went from a 450 credit to a 650 or something, whatever. And they did the things they needed to do.
And the crazy part, when we say that, people assume that, okay, you're talking about first-time home buyers, you're talking about people with no money, this, that, and the other. But you and I know we've been in the business long enough to realize that people with medical bills, doctors, we run into people at all levels who don't qualify.
Exactly.
But our job is to find out how can we qualify them.
That's it right there.
When people come out the medical field, and I work with a lot of black doctors, you might as well call me a black medical relocation specialist.
There you go. Okay. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Ain't nothing wrong with that.
But I will say this: people assume that, okay, you got those letters in front of your name, you have no debt, and that's just not a true story.
They got more debt than all of us.
Exactly.
They got more debt than all
so we
of
have
us.
to strategize and we have to strategically know how to separate their practice from their personal, and know how to qualify for them. So I'm glad that you kind of talk about that. So what are some of the products that? Well, why'd you choose Cornerstone, and what are some of the products Cornerstone offer? Because I know you get approached all the time on different banks you work for.
Let's walk through this. I love Cornerstone to death. Great company, great management. They are really excited about what we bring into the table in terms of helping our community out. But me as a lender, me personally as a lender, and my team,
yes,
no matter where we are,
y'all gonna get it done.
We're gonna figure out how to get it done.
Yeah, I got you.
And if we working with a company that don't align with our values and what we doing, then we're gonna go do something different.
You gotta keep going. You gotta keep it moving.
So like I said, love Cornerstone to death. But for what we do, we're gonna be out there hustling because that's who we are internally as a division. I've run a division. My division is nationwide, but the people I bring on, I'm not bringing on sorters. I'm not bringing on people that's gonna tell folks, no, everybody I bring on, we're going to teach you how to give people that game plan, because I don't never want nobody walking away from somebody that worked with me or for me and say, well, I don't know what to do. No, you're going to know exactly what to do, because we're going to tell you what to do if you're not ready right now. And, and some people use the word creative or whatever, but I use the word, we're going to be knowledgeable in every single product and program that we're going to find a solution for your situation. Everybody not in the box.
Exactly.
The box here, you might be over here. You might be close to the box. That's not a reason to tell you no. That just means I need to find a different box for you.
Well, let's just talk about that. And no shade on the Dream, but Dream brought up a good
scenario.
Thing, a scenario that we hear in the industry that they call it creative when they can't do it.
It's not. It's,
and then, like me, like, you know what I'm saying? Because I had a lender who, a builder, I think, called Lancey Holmes. They got a preferred lender. Basically told my client no 2 or 3 times, and then
they came back 2 or 3 times. Said no,
and I told them 2 or 3 times that I know it can be done. And
exactly,
this is why it can be done.
Because sometimes you be looking like, how in the world this person don't qualify? Like,
exactly.
Like, they might have a little bit of issue over here, but everything else is like stellar. We could figure out something to get this person to a house. You know what I mean?
So in our industry, and I know what we were talking about earlier, that competitors sometimes use the word creative, and I, I'm a football guy, sports and entertainment guy, I noticed like somebody started lifting weights and they said, "Oh man, he on steroids." Nah, he putting in work.
That's it.
So I'm not gonna call you creative because you're putting in work.
I
Because
know.
you're studying,
I know.
you're studying the different programs. You know, okay, this package, this loan we have is a no doc loan. This loan we have is a bank statement loan. This is a portfolio
So
loan.
let me give you one. I give you one. It happened last week. Girl called me up, and I call her girl because I'm 50 and she 30. But girl called me up,
Yeah, exactly.
and she said, "Hey, I'm an online influencer.
Oh, here we go.
That's my business,
You got to know what you're doing.
and I bought this house for $600,000. My whole family live in this house, $600,000 house. Matter of fact, in 2022, I think, or 2023, she made over $1 million
Online.
online. She paid off the house.
Yes, and that's you want
But
to cash out
What the problem is, she didn't realize the government was finna hit her
for them taxes. Yes,
for all of what she owed, because she filed her taxes showing she made $1 million.
correct.
So she owed $200,000 in her tax bill.
Correct. IRS.
She said, I shouldn't have paid off my house so fast. So now I need to come to you
And refile to pay my
and,
IRS
and pull
bill.
the cash out
Yes.
so I can pay the IRS bill, because their interest rate is way higher than
Then
mortgage.
your interest rate, yeah.
They
want 30%, 15, 20, 30%. You
Man,
can
I'm
do
telling you,
some 7%.
I'd rather get money from the mob
Correct.
than
Then
fooling with the
IRS.
IRS
Correct.
money,
Correct.
right? But at the end of the day, the problem she ran into in 2024, she only made $50,000.
Correct. So
After
now we have to balance
expenses or
those
whatever.
2 years.
No, actually, in the mortgage business, if it's that much a drop, they're gonna use worst case.
Oh, so dang.
So every loan, every client, every lender she went to was like, "Ma'am, you don't qualify. We know you made $1 million 2 years ago."
Well, we got to go with the lowest of the two.
Right. I said, "Well, how you doing this year?" She said, "Good." She said, "But I ain't filed my taxes yet." I said, and you mentioned a few minutes ago, I said, "Well, how your bank statements look?" "Oh yeah, I drop it in about $20,000 a month this year." I said, "Well, we just do a bank statement loan." She said,
Correct.
"What is that?" I said, "That's a loan where we don't qualify you based on your tax return.
Yes.
We qualify you based on your deposits."
Correct.
And at the time, she had no debt, but she needed that $200. All she really needed to show was about $8,000 a month in income.
Correct.
Boom, boom, boom. 5 minutes later, we already got her approved through the system. We got the appraisal back today. It
Wow.
actually appraised for more
Then what?
than what she said it was.
So she could have borrowed a little bit more if she needed to.
She said, "I'm good." Matter of fact,
Yeah.
what she gonna do? She is gonna borrow a little bit more. She gonna pay off her grandmother's car
Yes.
and pull out the money to pay the IRS.
Exactly.
She good.
And that's very important. So basically, and I hate to say it, but we look at you're in traffic. That lane was blocked. That lane was blocked, and you're like, but what about this lane?
Right.
But what about this lane?
Right.
You know, rerouting. You're rerouting.
Exactly. I'm not sorting. I'm solving.
Exactly.
So I'm not the person out here sorting people and trying to say you qualify, you don't. You qualify, you don't. I'm out here trying to say, okay, this is how you qualify, but over here, this is how you qualify over here.
And when we
It
run
might be
into,
different for the next person.
and we're running into that on the sports and entertainment NIL version where the athletes are using their name, image, and likeness. Here you go, you take a kid that just graduated from high school,
Right.
and the school is going to pay them $50,000 a month to play sports, and at the same time, they've never had a job before. But now we have to qualify them based on the letter or the agreement that they have that the school is going to pay them going forward.
Now, the good thing about Cornerstone that I do like is Cornerstone actually is also not just a mortgage company, but they're also a bank.
Correct. You service your own loans.
Right. Some of them we do. Some of them we sell because
Yes.
Fannie, Freddie, FHL buy them. But some of
Gotcha.
them we do service. But what a bank allows you to do in that type of situation is if they decide to take a loan because it makes sense,
Yes.
they can make a decision to take a loan.
And that's what we call the manual underwrite.
Yes, and it's just we're gonna portfolio the product too.
Correct.
That means we're gonna take our money in the bank and we're gonna fund this loan. We're not trying to sell it to the next person. We're gonna keep the loan in the house. We're gonna get because we believe in this loan.
Now, how about on the construction side? Because I have a local builder. We're sitting in front of a local builder
Right.
right now. If he needed additional capital to
Lines of credit all day long.
lines of credit.
Lines of credit all day
Gotcha.
long. Let me tell you what most banks look at. This is our bank and most banks. They want to see that builder has had some success.
Correct.
the problems you run into in the industry is that people looking for lines of credit sometimes have never done anything.
Okay, no, you can't.
They have never done not one build. They don't know who to call for concrete. They don't know they sometimes they contractors here and sometimes they gone. Like they don't. So when you have a history of being successful building, and I'm not talking about 10 years worth of history, but I'm just talking about a couple years. If you didn't say I didn't build 7, 8 houses and they've all made a profit, we've all done well, the bank really changes how they look at a person. So somebody asked me today, well, if that's the case, how do I get in? Like, how do I get in if that's what I want to do? Your first few deals, you got to partner with somebody.
That's what Andre's doing. So
gotta
Andre
partner
with the
with
tiny houses,
Exactly.
with the tiny. So and that's also the benefit. Another benefit of NAREB.
Exactly.
So,
You know who to partner with.
Now you're in the development community,
Right.
And so now you have partners that have done
Right.
who have a resume of successful builds, and now when they go to get the financing, it's a
Right.
lot easier because they have the
They got-
experience.
right. That may be their project, but also have the backing of this builder over here
Who endorses me?
who endorsed me, and he got 20 years worth of experience. So they got 30 years worth of experience. So it's a partnership. And that
Gotcha.
partnership now after you've done 5 or 10 with that partner,
You can fly on your
now
own.
you can do your thing.
You can fly on
because
your own.
you didn't already proved, hey, I got this. Because there's a lot of builders out there don't know what they're doing.
Exactly, losing. It's
They don't
really,
know what they're doing.
It's really a business for them to take a loss. So it's because I know a builder that they had that as a side business, take a loss on their other businesses.
Right.
And so that's wrong. But I think the best thing I've learned. One thing that the real estate side and the forecasting side, I follow D.O. Horton Holmes, and people say it might not be the best builder in the world, but I tell you what,
Efficient.
they're efficient, and they know
efficient.
that land position sells.
Yeah, they know that.
That land position sells. So I tell you, if you watch the right people, it's really hard to go wrong when there's a demand, and there's also apartment complexes going up on every corner of people who would prefer being in a house.
Right.
But now I got to ask you the hard question. So
All right.
and isn't it a brother from that's over at FHA right now?
Matter of fact, he live out there where you live.
Yeah, right down from us. And then also, what do you see rates going? I mean, I know you don't have
Crystal ball. So this is what I'm gonna say.
yes.
Right now, and he waited. I thought he was gonna do a little bit quicker, but right now, no matter what you think about our current leadership in Washington,
Yeah.
he is a real estate guy,
Yes, he is.
and he always wants rates to be lower. No matter what it is, he wants it to be lower.
Correct.
And he did some other things. His focus was on other things, but right now he's turning his focus toward the Fed.
Correct.
So there's a conversation that's being had right now between him and the head of the Fed, Jerome Powell.
Jerome Powell.
And so I know it's gonna come to fruition at some point where they're gonna have to agree, and I can't say agree to disagree, because he the guy.
Gotcha.
But at some point, Jerome's gonna have to kind of either talk him into saying let's hold off on all these rate cuts or let's move forward, because at the end of the day, it's gonna be pressure on Jerome from Trump to lower the rates.
Now, how does that executive order regarding 401k, was that passed or?
You know what? I don't know what kind of impact that's gonna have on mortgage rates and people out here purchasing homes.
Yeah,
but
it said something about you won't be penalized.
right. If you purchase a home, you put money out your 401k up to a certain amount.
Correct.
You won't have the 10% penalty associated with it.
Correct.
I'm not for sure if it's going to count as income, but I know for a fact that you won't get the penalty on it. So answer your question is that's great because that'll allow people to pull money out.
Correct.
Regardless. But at the end of the day, what's going to drive the market is rates dropping.
Correct.
And if rates drop, but see, I it's good and bad.
Correct.
Because I remember, and you do too, you was in Houston
Yes.
when rates was 2% and 3%.
I got a house for sale right now, 2.25 assumable loan, 820 La Luna.
The problem with a 2% interest rate is that now the seller, believe it or not, knows that and can demand more. I would have clients. I had one lady when the race was in the 2s and the 3s. She put in 17 offers.
And didn't get a house.
Didn't get a house over 6 months.
So-
And so she just gave up. She said, I ain't doing this no more.
So when that
Because everybody was overbidding
Yes.
and bidding $50,000 and $60,000 and $70,000 more, and they had to sign something stating that if it didn't appraise,
Appraisal waiver.
I still gonna give you the extra money.
Exactly.
And she didn't have the money to do
I
that.
lost a client for asking her to sign that. She was like, "How would you advise me to ever pay for something for more than what it's worth?"
Because you don't get the house.
I said, "We're in that market,
Yeah.
ma'am. We're in that market where you have to abide by the market if you want this home." Now,
I'm not ever saying it's gonna go back to that.
I would love for it to go back there. Let me tell you why.
Okay. All right.
Let me tell you why. That's when I realized the power of networking. Like,
That's a good one.
oh,
I ain't think about
the
that.
power
That's
of
good.
networking.
Okay. That's good.
When I pulled up, when I scheduled a showing, I could say, "Hey, Don Davis, would like to see this property today from 12 to 1 o'clock. I'll be there. I got a full price offer, cash closed in 7 days, no contingencies. We've already pulled up the previous seller disclosure from when the previous owner owned the home.
You did your
like,
research.
Like when we're coming in, but you got to be an experienced buyer's broker agent to really understand that when I buy, I'm buying as if the worst thing possible is wrong with the house. So I'm calculating, okay, if I'm buying a home and the foundation is bad, then guess what? I know the estimated cost to repair the foundation on 3,300 square feet is this. We're offering this based on the current labor costs and stuff like that.
But Don, you know, back then it was a whole lot of agents that was agents.
Correct.
That wasn't really agents. They wasn't professional. Like what you just did
yeah.
and said. They don't even know what you was talking about.
Well, that's the thing. So unfortunately, Flip This House, HGTV, and a lot of
TV made it look easy.
TV made it where if you look good and drive something nice, you could sell a house. And they didn't realize the contract grows every year. You know, by the way, the Trek contract used to be like 3 pages, and now it's up to 20-some pages. So and people tell you, they'll tell you the contract grows every year because there's new lawsuits.
I think it's actually 22 pages. If you count the third party, that's not even counting the addendums.
Exactly.
They ain't counting the mineral rights. They ain't counting the HOA forms, all that other stuff.
I taught all those classes at Champion School of Real Estate during COVID. Nobody wanted to teach all of a sudden. So say, Don, go in there and get sick. Go in there and get sick. So I taught all those classes, but I had a joy because it's nothing like standing in front of 50 people who honestly, and I noticed little patterns like the importance of professionalism. I would do little stuff, man. I've been at the school a year now. I'm not gonna wear a collar on my first day. I'm gonna wear a T-shirt. It took me a day to get the respect of the class. I come in first day with a suit and tie.
Hey, snap.
I got respect of the class within the first 30 minutes.
Oh, wow.
So what it did, it helped me prepare them for their exams sooner, knowing how to dress and then being able to follow up. And don't get me wrong, after a while, it's like flying a plane. You're going to have turbulence at the beginning or turbulence at the end, but either way, I'm going to get you to your destination.
We're going to land. We're going to land.
So I was able to teach 50 people. And when I say 50 people, some people are looking up to you like, I don't believe this guy. And then you have, and I hate to say it, in Champion School of Real Estate, you got anywhere from exotic dancers to lawyers and doctors in your class. Everybody wants to get a real estate license now. So you have to be able to teach I need to be able to teach to the exotic dancer at the same time while I'm teaching to the medical professional who just came here on the weekend to knock off this easy test that they found out wasn't easy. So when they fail a test, how can I fail this test?
And I done passed the MCAT. I'd have been in residency for 10 years. I got you.
But it also it makes you gain respect for the industry because it is a professional license by the state of Texas.
And I'm glad you mentioned, I wish more agents took their license that they received, even if it's a part-time deal. Took it more serious. I can tell when I talk to people just by their conversation, you know what you're doing, or I'm gonna have to help you. And I don't mind helping. You know, those agents who don't know. I had an agent the other day call me. She didn't know how to put the contract together. And I called the client back and I said, well, ma'am, you know, your agent they hadn't done a deal in like years. She said, I know, but it's a
friend.
Well, they go to church with me and I want to bless her with some commission. I said, well, we're gonna have to walk through this. And I called the listing agent. And I said, hey, just want to know. She knew, or not even knew. She just ain't done a long time. She ain't done a long ordeal. And he said, yeah, I figured that because when she sent the contract over, I was like, I don't know what I'm going to do with this. And so we helped her through it. But at the end of the day, I wish people that had that license would take it more serious to understand this is, if you was a lawyer, you wouldn't walk into court looking like you look For real.
Correct.
And
Correct.
you representing probably the biggest purchase
People will ever make.
they will ever make. They will ever make.
I looked out the window
So be
one day.
professional.
I looked out the window one day. I was just looking at traffic, and I was like, God help me with my business. I'm like, I don't know where to get the leads, this, that, and the other. And I just looked out the window, and God told me clear as day. Everybody in that traffic is driving to pay their rent or their mortgage. It was a rush hour traffic, and everybody on that highway was going to pay their rent or their mortgage.
Yep.
And so what my job is to make it where what they're going to pay for is something that's going to change their life. It's going to be an asset, not a liability.
Right.
And then it's going to be an appreciating asset.
Right. It's a blessing, not a curse.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly. And I can tell you do the same thing. Matter of fact, I can already hear it in your voice. You avoid payment shock. Explain what payment shock is to people.
Payment shock, and I'm gonna tell you how I do it too. Payment shock is when a person decides that they pay X today, and then they're gonna buy a house that's gonna be either 3 or 4 or even double what they paying now. Right?
Exactly.
The first question I always ask the client, I don't ask them, well, how much house you want to buy. First question I say, what you paying now? That's the very first question. When somebody put me on the phone with somebody, I'm gonna say, what's your current rent payment? You live with family. What's your rent payment? What are you paying now? Most people gonna say, man, anywhere from $1,500, $2,500 in the DFW area, right?
Yes.
And some markets like LA, it's gonna be $3,000 or $4,000.
Yeah.
New York, my daughter, she lives in Atlanta. It's gonna be a little bit more. It might not be 15, 18. It might be 2,500.
Correct.
So I always ask that question because I want them to understand that the way you live your life now, if you buy a house, it may change, especially if the prices or the amount you qualify for or the house you see, instead you going from 15, now you finna go 3,000.
Exactly. So
Now I'm not saying you don't qualify for 3,000. I'm not saying at all. I'm just saying
you got to restructure.
you live your life a certain way based on 1,500. 1,800 probably ain't no issue. Even 1,900, you probably can figure out the $400.
Exactly.
But when you start talking about I'm finna
$1,000 jumps.
Yes, exactly. Now you got to change what's happening. Now, unless you just got a new job, or unless you finna get married, or whatever the case may be. But if it's your situation's the same, just moving from this location to that location, you got to recognize how you gonna change how you live if your payment is finna go up. Because the worst question anybody ever asked me, well, what's my max?
Yeah. Nah.
When I hear that, I be like, well, okay, let's think through this.
Exactly.
Let's think through this because your max might put you in a position where you can't really afford to do the things that you want to do today like you doing.
Well, you one hailstorm away from foreclosure. Like if you got to pay your deductible on a hailstorm, then you.
No, don't speak about insurance. Insurance is off the wall.
Yeah,
now,
insurance is high right now too.
It's off the
but
wall.
Another thing we have to warn our young professionals about, because a lot of times we get young professionals that they're engaged. They say, "Oh, we're gonna put our incomes together and qualify for this home." What happens if that person breaks up? So you have to think all the way down the road on worst case scenarios, and then I think one of the things I'm able to do and our company is able to do too is people assume if you pay less, you're getting less, and sometimes that's the situation. But if you really know what you're doing, you can really search and find something nice on a budget.
And you got to be. Sometimes you have to have. I won't call it imagination. You got to have some foresight.
Exactly.
Like right now, they basically are flipping South Dallas.
Yes.
I don't know how familiar. I know you live in North Dallas. But
Yeah.
They're going through South Dallas and they flipping it.
Well, I saw C.D. Lamb said something he didn't want to participate in.
Well, I don't know about.
He said something about he didn't want to participate.
I don't know.
So you
got to be careful.
Yeah,
I'm sure he's being careful who he dealing with.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. He was saying something about some gentrification. He said he don't want to be a part of the problem. He don't want to be. He want to be a part of the solution, not the problem.
Right. So they flipping South Dallas. They flipped. If you're familiar with Dallas, they flipped Bishop's Arts about 10 years ago.
Okay, so that area where I had the broker open, that Trinity Groves
area?
Right,
they flipped that because 10 years ago, it didn't look nothing like that.
Oh, wow, okay.
But they flipped it, right? And so sometimes you got to be in a position where you look at a situation and say, well, what's happening and what will this look like 10 years from now? So because sometimes what people do, especially first-time home buyers, they want to buy their dream house off the top. Like, I want 5 bedrooms, I want 4 baths, I want to sit on an acre, not the first house. Like the first house need to be the house that gets you into it. So therefore, when you could take that equity and then move on to the next house.
So you telling me we about to go back how we used to do it. FHA 203K, buy a house in the hood, sit there, fix it up, and wait for it to appreciate.
Or if you're working with a builder that's actually building homes that aren't in that area, lot to lot versus subdivision.
Correct.
Maybe you can find you a deal knowing that the whole neighborhood
is about to
flip. So
correct.
all the restaurants, all the stuff that wasn't there before, they finna start building that.
Now you know
it's
Third.
different.
Now you know Third Ward did that.
I know.
And guess
right?
what?
I know.
And Southside still holding. Guess what?
Know, right?
What was supposed to be gentrification is just us. So now we got middle. Now we got all classes. We got poor, middle, and wealthy in Third Ward.
Exactly. Brooklyn did the same thing.
Yeah, so,
I mean, it's just one of those situations where if you have a little bit of, I don't want to call it imagination, but a little bit of foresight,
yes,
you may be able to find something that fits what you want to do in your life at that time, but not stretch you out so far. Because we can easily go up to Forney or Anna or Melissa and buy a $600,000 house.
But then you're paying for your commute,
and you got to come up with that $4,000 a month note every single month.
And so what about HOA? Speaking of that, let's touch on this a little bit. I know people don't like to talk about it, but I also noticed some of these HOAs around here are a little bit more strict than they should be. Is there any, I know it's not redlining, but is there any bullying going on in the HOA community?
What's the purpose of the original HOA?
Yeah, man.
I mean, the purpose of the original HOA is to keep certain folk out.
Man, so I literally just sold a house in Lantana in Argyle.
Oh yeah,
where my guy, he was a doctor, and basically he traveled a lot with work, and he had a Cane Corso dog, and the Cane Corso was barking one night.
That's a big boy.
Yeah,
Cane Corso's big dogs.
So the HOA manager lived 2 houses down, and he decided to put his cell phone on record. And every time the dog barked, he billed him on his HOA bill $50 a bark. He barked 6 times that night for $300.
Nah.
The interest on the barks was accruing, and it was growing and growing and growing, to finally, when we went to sell, I think the $300 bark turned into like $5,000 or something like that. But it was just sad to see that was still going on.
So this is the deal. So give you a little history. So previous to 1968, and probably even after that, previous to 1968, the way people would make sure that folks couldn't buy in certain neighborhoods, right? 2 reasons. Number one, they wouldn't let black realtors actually have access to the MLSs in certain neighborhoods anyway.
Correct.
So if I want to buy a house, I don't even know those houses for sale.
Yes, because you didn't even know.
Because if I'm working a black agent, I don't have access to it. That's one way. The other way, even earlier than that, they put them in the deeds.
Do not convey this to a N-word. It wouldn't even say black. I've seen it. It's in an N-word.
Exactly, right?
Yeah, exactly.
And so now I can't buy a neighborhood because it's already written in the deed that I can't sell it to a black person, right?
Exactly.
Or whoever, right? And so, but come 1968, Fair Housing Act came in and said, you can't do all that.
Correct.
Matter of fact, these deeds don't even make, they I don't care what they wrote. Boom, boom. And certain people still try to do this, and they try to do other things.
Correct.
One of the things that came about was HOAs.
Yes.
So HOAs said, well, what we going to do, and we're going to put these laws together, and we're going to make it unattractive for them to come in.
Correct.
And if they do happen to buy a house, we're going to fine them every chance that we get. If your grass is an inch higher than what it's supposed to be, fine.
Correct.
If you got a car sitting over here in the driveway that don't work, fine. If your dog barks too much, fine. And so we're gonna put them in a position where they don't want to be here anyway. So that's just another way to put people in a position. And I'm not saying HOAs are bad. I'm just saying
some are definitely needed.
Right.
But there is some bullying going on in some of some HOA, and then same thing went on with the annexations in some of the areas. I know Freedmantown, when the slaves were initially free, they went to Fort Bend County, and then the same situations where it was so many black owners that they raised the tax values
Right.
to try to take the land back.
Right.
But actually that it was all that whole county almost belonged to the freed slaves as a gift.
Have you had a chance to do the Freeman tour here in Dallas?
No, I haven't.
You need to do that, right?
Okay.
Because the story is unbelievable how they did people, and this is
And
I've
that
heard.
started in North Dallas, right? I heard the
Not North. Because see, North Dallas is a different conversation.
well, right by
North,
635 at Hilltop or something
no,
like that.
it's further south than that.
Okay.
So North Dallas, when they say North Dallas, let's say in the 1920s and 30s,
Yes.
or right after the slaves got free, after we were freed, North Dallas really basically is like 75 and like Haskell.
Forest Lane, right? Forest
Not
Lane?
even that far north.
Oh,
It's not even that far north.
Okay. So when you
It's-
come out of downtown.
Right, you come out down to Hall Street.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, Hall Street was where the black people lived, right?
Okay.
They consider that to be North Dallas back then, right?
Yeah.
But the story really revolves around how when they decided that Dallas was growing, and this is Dallas, this is New Orleans, this is all these towns, right?
Correct.
That they found what they considered to be the cheapest land. That's where the black people live.
Correct.
And they built through through their neighborhoods.
Correct.
75 was built through a grave site owned by the Freedmans.
Wow.
So when they start building and expanding 75,
And eminent domain.
they digging up graves,
Yes, moving them.
moving graves.
Just like that Sugar Land
Yeah.
incident. Yeah.
When they built 35 South, going toward Duncanville and DeSoto and South Dallas, they built it through the middle
Of a
of
cemetery.
a neighborhood. No, it's of a neighborhood.
Oh, wow.
They had to knock down either 200 or 250 homes and about 50 businesses to build. And it's so funny. They could have built it straight. If you ever rode down 35 from downtown,
Yes.
it curves
Yeah.
like something crazy.
Yeah.
Because they didn't want to go through certain neighborhoods,
Wow.
but they was okay with going through others. So they curved it and did it
they
like
went
this.
west, but not
Exactly.
Yeah,
They turning this way.
Yeah.
So you're like, well, what? But
Yeah.
they went through black neighborhoods in order to build that, right? So at the end of the day, it's always been some obstacles
Correct.
stopping people, especially that look like us.
From gaining momentum.
Exactly. Buying
Now,
houses, owning
yeah.
houses, all that. That's why I love what I do, because I'm that other guy. I'm the guy on the side. We finna do this.
So you're a history guy too. So you going to school at Oklahoma. Tell me a little bit about Black Wall Street. What you know about that?
So Black Wall Street was basically just a jealousy thing.
Wow.
If you think about it, Tulsa at that time, and you could kind of piece it together. There was people moving from different parts of the world,
Yes.
different parts of the United States at that time, right? When and so what ended up happening after slavery, they actually decided as a black culture, as a black organization, as a black family, black people, to say, you know what, we're finna all go live together somewhere.
Yes.
And they designated, people don't know this, they designated Oklahoma, of all places,
Yes.
the places where black people was gonna live. Now, the government didn't come out and say this.
They did it on their own.
They just came out and said, hey, people in Kansas, people in Texas, people in Florida, Georgia, hey, Oklahoma is the spot. We want everybody moving to Oklahoma because we're going to have an opportunity. Now, of course, some people say, yeah, I'm not going that far. But some people say, okay, I'll give it a shot.
Okay.
And we're going to take our family, we're going to live, we're going to move to Oklahoma, right? Oklahoma, to this day, still has more black towns than any state in the union.
Wow.
People don't know that. People think
know.
Oklahoma, so especially how they vote, right?
Yes.
But it has more traditionally, historically black towns than any state in the United States, right?
Wow.
They moved to Tulsa. And when you move, the people who start towns are folks with money.
Yes.
So most of the time it's going to be a doctor, a lawyer.
Correct.
Same thing happened in Dallas, right? It's going to be doctors, lawyers, educators. Those are the people that show up first. They're going to buy this piece of land, and then they're going to, hey, cousin, brother,
on in.
friend,
This where
hey,
we
buy this
living
piece
now?
of land right next to
Yes.
me. You're going to buy this land. Store owner, let's build this store. And they start building community. They
Gotcha.
start building community. Well, the problem you run into is that if you doing better than them on the other side of the tracks,
Then we need to slow you down.
we jealous.
Yes.
How you doing all this and we over here struggling to feed our family?
Exactly.
Now, I don't know what actually got it started. Meaning, what incident happened? There's a lot of history about
some fires. They said something
some
about some
happened. It could
fires.
have been some Emmett Till stuff. Somebody said something to the
Yes,
wrong
and it went
person.
wrong. Yes,
But that wasn't what the reason why it all happened. That might have been like the initiator, but it was already gonna happen because they were doing so well compared to the people across the tracks. They was doing so bad.
yeah. I knew an attorney that represented black farmers. He was from my neighborhood, and he had to sue the USDA because they had started turning down loans for black farmers at one point. And so I can see how that all came together.
It's funny how art imitates life, or life imitates art. I don't know how you want to put it, but yeah, if you watch the show called Sugar, oh god, it was based out of Louisiana. I can't remember the name of the little TV show. It came on BET, and basically it was this that. It was about a family in Louisiana, and they struggled back and forth about some land that they own. They own prime land.
Yes.
And they farmed land.
That was Mississippi.
No, it's Louisiana. The one I'm talking about, Louisiana.
Okay, so it's another one in Mississippi.
Yeah,
as well.
the one I'm talking about, Louisiana.
And there's another one in California.
And this might have been like 7-8 years ago that this was on TV, right? And that particular one, it just feels like that's probably a true story.
Yeah.
Because when they go down to USDA to get loans to buy what they need to do the harvest for that particular year or whatever, all the black people get turned down.
Gotcha.
And the white people, not even close to the same type of experience, same type of success, they giving them loans to do whatever they need to do.
So that, and that's a perfect segue because we're about to wrap it up. So lists. Well, I shouldn't even say all the products, but I know you offer USDA loans.
Oh, we do.
I want you to talk about, and like I said, we only got a couple minutes left. How, first of all, how they can reach you,
right?
The products you offer,
all right,
and then also the fact that that you're willing to take phone calls from everybody.
Oh, absolutely.
Yes.
So a couple things. Number one, my name is Rod C. So ROD. Last name is spelled SEE. Some people think it's the letter C, but it's spelled act like I can see you.
Yes.
So you can reach me, rodc.com. You type that in, rodc.com.
Oh, wow.
All my information pops up. Phone number is 817-937-3630. That's 817-937-3630. But if you go online, you'll see all that information too. Licensed in 44 states.
That's everything. That's
so
everything.
It's not just here in Texas. We do business everywhere. I got a loan in Pennsylvania, got one in Florida, Oklahoma, California. We do loans pretty much everywhere. Only big state that we don't do loans is New York. It's the only state right now. New York got a lot of kind of different rules, and sometimes it's hard for lenders to actually start in New York, right?
Okay, gotcha.
But we got 44 states, so we probably got a state for everybody. I would say product-wise, there is not a product that is available that we don't do.
So you have VA,
FHA, USDA, bank statement loans, a thing called DSCR loans.
DSCR for your
investors,
building
right?
strip centers and multifamily property.
We got all the products. We got land loans. We got construction loans. You mentioned 203K. I can do a construction loan. I can do a remodel loan.
Okay.
That's investors or primary. There is not a loan that we don't do that's available in the public. And then if there is a loan or a situation that we like, ooh, that don't fit anything. Then remember, I work for a bank.
Correct.
That means if it feels good and I can talk to the people that run the bank, because I'm at the senior vice president level, we might be in a position to portfolio some things.
And one of the most important things about you working for a bank is your fees are probably less.
Yeah, I would say 9 times out of 10, the fees for most banks are pretty much the same. But I wouldn't even look at that in the sense of what I mean is that if they're in a position where you're going to get good customer service.
Yes. Call you back and all that.
Pay a couple $100.
Yeah, extra.
Nobody's fee is going to be within $100 or $200 different than the next person, right?
Yeah, because I just heard that a lot of brokers, fees are a lot higher than banks, but I know y'all have both sides.
I would know. But at the end of the day, you talk about that. We broker products too.
Correct.
So not only do I have my own bank products, not only do we sell to Fannie, Freddie, FHA, but if I got a product that a broker can do,
yes,
I can do the same product. I just broker that product to that particular broker as well.
Gotcha.
So I can do stuff internal and I can do stuff external too as well.
Well, man, it's a pleasure, Rod. See, like I say, when I have you on the Real Estate Don podcast, nothing but professionals that actually are experienced at getting things done. And when I say that, because you have to have a team.
Right.
You're not gonna get to the finish line without a good team. And as you see, he has been a landlord. He doesn't want to be a landlord
No.
at this time. But
I'm gonna let y'all handle that one.
but he does have a master's in finance.
Master's in real estate finance.
He has a master's in real estate finance from SMU University. So that speaks for itself. What was a part of that? A part of the union you were a part of at SMU, the
Black Student Union.
The Black Student Union at SMU, master's in finance and real estate, and then also, last but not least, he's a dog.
Q dog.
He's a dog. So once again, thank y'all for coming.
Shout out to Dream for putting the podcast
you
together.
got shout out for Dream, man. Like
go.
I say, and when we talk about, man, Dream is just the most creative guy. Look where you're sitting. That's why when people tell me, hey, they got to have a big house. No, Dream has a big house, but his studio at the same time, I mean, one of the most plush studios I've ever been in.
Dream do it. Dream do it big. Love
one of the most plush studios. So that let me know that you got to crawl before you walk.
Right.
So,
exactly.
So
but it's always good to associate with greatness. It's always good to associate with greatness.
But it remind me of, when we got our first car. Dream like, man, give me a smallest car you will find. I'm gonna hook it up. look, I'll tell you right.
We're gonna bling it out.
Yeah, man. Look, I feel like I'm in Hollywood right now.
There you go.
So once again, like I say, man, thanks for tuning in, and we definitely gonna be talking at least once a week because I'm gonna try to keep you busy. Then I'm gonna send some more people to keep you busy, and then
nothing wrong with
you
that,
keep
doctor.
me busy, and we're gonna be up and down 45.
There you go, bro. Outstanding.
Appreciate you, Rod.
Appreciate you, Don.
All right.
What's going on, family? This is Rod C. Rod C. with the Rod C. Mortgage Group, powered by Cornerstone. Great opportunity here to talk to you. If you come to me, some people come to me with all their ducks in a row. Some people come to me and they need help getting there. I'm willing to work with anybody. If you come to me with your ducks in a row, you ready to go, we can get you closed out in a couple of weeks, right? But if you come to me, maybe you got a little credit issue. Maybe you got a little income issue. Maybe you're trying to figure out down payment assistance, whatever it is. Our group will definitely hold your hand and walk you through the process to make sure you reach the goal. The good thing about what we do is we never say no. We only say yes or how. So definitely reach out to me. You can reach out to me at rodsee.com. That's RODSEE.com. RODSEE.com. Phone number is 817-937-3630. That's 817-937-3630.
Once again, it's your boy, the Real Estate Don. Like, share, subscribe. See y'all next episode.